Hi guys, welcome back to the Lens. Today we are talking about the new animated movie David. From the songs of his mother's heart to the whispers of a faithful God, David's story begins in quiet devotion. When the giant Goliath rises to terrorize a nation, a young shepherd armed with only a sling, a few stones, and unshakable faith steps forward. Pursued by power and driven by purpose, his journey tests the limits of loyalty, love, and courage, culminating in a battle not just for a crown, but for the soul of a kingdom. I think I have to say that this film has to be one of the top two animated films I have seen in my lifetime. And I have seen a lot of animated films, a lot of them, including everything I've seen from Disney. This has to be the top two. And it's not just because it's a Christian film, of course. It's because it's just a good animated movie. Number one, the acting. Oh my gosh, the voice acting was immaculate. Number two, the story itself. Now, when you talk about a biblical story, there's a lot of things in every story that you might not want to put on a big screen for children, right? And for David, there's a lot of things that you don't really want to, again, put out there for little kids. But in this storytelling, you see all of the great points of David's story from when he was a shepherd boy up until when he becomes king, without all of the stuff they probably don't want your kids to be focused on, like the multiple wives. David is also very much single throughout this entire film, okay? So the only women that were in the story were his mom and his sister. Every other wife that you know from the biblical historical account is not included in this film, okay? So we don't have any confusion going on there either. And just in general, many things are just cleaned up for the children. The next thing I'll say is the music. Oh my gosh. Back-to-back hits from start to finish. Yes, the songs aren't traditional musical songs in that they do not move the story forward. They're more songs that are expressing how David is feeling in the moment, his emotions, some of the themes of the film as well. But you will hear what the lyrics are saying. And again, I believe that music is a form of meditation. So when you sing these songs, they're kind of like worship songs, worship to God, a reaffirming of who you are in Christ as well. So all of these beautiful things that you have in this music. And again, back to back to back hits. Loved every song, especially the end credit song. And of course, with the end credits, it could be hit or miss, never know with the end credits. But this song was my favorite by far. Now, the heart of this film, oh my gosh, I loved it. David being a man after God's own heart and having that be the center of this entire film not only redirected the characters back to the point, but also redirected you as the viewer back to the point. Yes, David was a mighty man. He was strong, he was powerful, he was aligned to God, and there's so much of a story that you want to aspire to as a believer. But he wasn't the point. He was just a vessel that God was using at this point in the world's history. But the point was always worshiping God, having your heart be aligned to God, you yourself as a person. I loved being able to see how beautifully the filmmakers were able to present this point over and over and over again. How David would constantly step to the side to allow God shine, allow the lights of God through. Just beautiful. And then I have to talk about the quality of the animation, the artwork. Oh my gosh. If you're looking for a studio that was able this year to rival the historic successes of Disney when it comes to animation or Pixar, you have found it in David. The style was so beautiful. The scenery, you could almost live in that world. It was so good. How they drew David, how they animated him. He felt like a real person in many ways, of course animated, but he could step out of that world and be a real person in real life. The lighting as well, trying to depict different times of day. It made the story come to life in a whole different way. When I talk about suspension of disbelief, I lost myself in this film. That's how real it felt. That's how much it took me into the world of the film. I lost track of the real world. Then the emotion. This film had me tearing up several times. Oh my gosh, they really got me. And when you can make somebody emotional with your storytelling, you know that you have sold the story. I have to also say that the singing voice of David, especially when he gets older, is immaculate. Absolutely well done to Phil Wickham. He was an excellent choice to play the voice of David and singing voice of David. Very, very excellent choice. What I love about Phil Wickham's voice is that it's so honest. He's such a good singer, but it's also so honest. And you think of David and you just think of all the psalms that he wrote, the songs that he wrote, the things that he was saying. A voice like Phil Wickham, I feel like, really brings that kind of character to life because, again, it's just so honest. It's undeniable to me that they prayerfully considered the story of this film, considered the people that are going to be a part of it, and they created such a great work of art. Just beautiful. And I just hope that we can continue to have more things like this. Not just people that want to put biblical stories on the big screen, but people that want to introduce God through these stories to a massive audience. If you have not seen David, and if you had no plans to see David, please make your plans to see this film. David was an amazing film, absolutely amazing film, and you have to go see it. Like, I don't know, of all the films I've seen in 2025, this is one that I would beg you to come and watch. You have to. That's all from me on the movie David, and I will see you next time in a new video. Bye.